Gentlelady's time's expired. Who else seeks recognition? Gentlelady from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes.
I'd like to first associate the gentle ladies, my remarks with the gentle ladies' remarks, because some things just should not be debatable. And one of the things that we know is that the Constitution is really supposed to be a guiding light. And the reason that we're having to do amendments like this one and the other one and talk about things such as due process and the Constitution is because we could actually avoid maybe detaining or sending away U.S. citizens if we just gave them their due process rights. Because I'm tired of hearing, oh, they made a mistake. Well, guess what? That mistake may cost somebody their job. That mistake may cost somebody their home. That mistake may cost somebody actually being able to still have their child.
Welcome back to Right View Nation, where freedom has a voice, facts come first, and we don't bow down to woke narratives. I'm your host, and today we're diving into one of the most infuriating, hypocritical, and tone-deaf rants I've seen in Congress in a long time.
Because authorities may be called, because that person is now not showing up to pick up their child, or some people don't have the privilege of having a salaried job where whether they show up or not, they're still going to get paid. Some people need to be at work. And so if you care about U.S. citizens, we know how y'all feel about immigrants, but if you care about U.S. citizens, I don't understand why this would be debatable, because if there's anybody that we're fighting for, all supposed to be fighting for, it should be U.S. citizens. In fact, it's U.S. citizens that are the ones that send us here, not Donald Trump. So with that, we should be looking out. We should have their back, and we should say, as the federal government, we will not do things that are directly going to disenfranchise our citizens. And that's exactly what this is. But if we just followed the Constitution and gave people their due process rights, then maybe they could show up and prevent some of these mistakes. And maybe these mistakes that maybe seem so small to y'all because maybe the people that are being targeted have a little bit more melanin. So maybe we don't care about the mistakes that happen with some of those folk. I don't really understand. But I'm tired. And frankly, I think y'all should be tired too. Because I think no matter what district you come from, if you were to survey your district, there is no one in your district that would say that we should spend money on ICE, immigration and customs enforcement, to detain or deport, which you can't even deport, detain and kidnap or detain and whatever, unlawfully restrain a U.S. citizen. Not anyone in your district would actually support that. I would put money on it. And so this absolutely should be a no-brainer. And I thank you to the gentlelady from the state of Washington for proposing just common sense, which seems like it is not so common nowadays. I will yield.
Gentlelady yields.
Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett took to the floor recently, delivering what she clearly thought was some kind of righteous crusade for justice. But don't be fooled. Underneath all that dramatic flair and emotional appeal, it's the same tired, anti-law enforcement, anti-American nonsense we've come to expect from the radical left. So let's unpack it, one piece at a time, and expose the real agenda behind the performance. Crockett opens by saying the Constitution is supposed to be a guiding light. And I agree, the Constitution is our foundation. It's what makes America America. But here's the problem. Democrats like her only quote the Constitution when it benefits them politically. Where was this reverence for the Constitution during the pandemic lockdowns, when Americans were banned from worshiping, gathering, or even working? Where's this love for the Constitution when the Second Amendment is under attack by the gun-grabbing crowd in her own party? See, to the left, the Constitution is a prop, not a principle. Crockett rants about how mistakes made by law enforcement, specifically ICE, could cost people their jobs, their homes, or their kids. And listen, nobody wants innocent people wrongly detained. But let me be crystal clear. That's not the norm, and ICE isn't the enemy here. You want to talk about government mistakes? Start with the IRS, the DOJ, or the FBI's abuse of FISA warrants. But nope, she only goes after ICE. Why? Because ICE enforces the border. And the modern Democratic Party doesn't want a border. Let's not kid ourselves. She then says we should care more about U.S. citizens than immigrants. Finally, something we agree on. But here's the kicker. Her actions don't match her words. The left has consistently pushed policies that prioritize illegal immigrants over hardworking American citizens. Sanctuary cities, taxpayer-funded benefits for illegals, driver's licenses, and voting rights initiatives creeping in through the back door. So spare me the "we care about U.S. citizens" line. If they did, they wouldn't be flying the flag of every other country during protest marches in American streets. Yes, the race card never fails. Crockett suggests that people with a little more melanin are the ones being disproportionately affected by these so-called due process violations. Let me ask you this. Is everything a race issue to these people? Is there any room for personal responsibility, objective law enforcement, or actual data? This obsession with identity politics is tearing America apart. We should be uniting under one flag, not dividing into color-coded tribes. Lady Justice is supposed to be blind, but the left keeps trying to rip the blindfold off and make everything about skin color. Crockett claims no one in any district would support ICE detaining U.S. citizens unlawfully. And you know what? She's probably right. We don't support illegal detention of American citizens. But that's not what's happening. That's a strawman argument made to smear ICE and strip them of funding, authority, and morale. Let's be real here. This isn't about a handful of mistakes. This is about weakening immigration enforcement to push open border policies. This is about dismantling national sovereignty under the guise of justice. Look, folks, Congresswoman Crockett was clearly trying to give a big, fiery speech that would make headlines and rack up social media likes. But we've got to cut through the drama and look at the substance. When Democrats claim to care about mistakes, ask yourself this. What have they done to fix the broken bureaucracies they created? Why aren't they pushing for faster hearings, stronger ID systems, and immigration reform that protects citizens first? Because for them, the chaos is the point. Confusion creates outrage. Outrage fuels division, and division keeps them in power. America doesn't need more grandstanding. We need solutions. We need strong borders, honest government, and law enforcement that's respected, not demonized. We believe in due process for everyone, but we don't believe in tearing down ICE, undermining national security, or playing racial politics with serious issues. And to the viewers out there, don't fall for the show. They'll dress it up in compassion and Constitution speak, but underneath, it's the same anti-American ideology the left has been pushing for years. If you're sick of the lies, the theatrics, and the double standards, hit that like button. Subscribe to Right View Nation. Share this video with your friends, your family, your co-workers, anyone who still believes in common sense, the rule of law, and the greatness of this country. Stay strong, stay smart, and stay patriotic.